Welcome, friends. Welcome back to the kitchen. Have you been waiting out there for an entire year to see this cut open? This is our homemade prosciutto, or some people would call it an Iberico ham, country ham. It goes by a whole bunch of different names. Anyway, it is a salt cured pork leg, and it's only salt cured. So if I take you back a year, we start out in this kitchen here with my friend Jamie, and we butchered a hog, and I'm through.
Yep,
So that's through the backbone.
that's it. Yep.
Cool. Done with the saw?
Done with the saw. Yeah, we'll use the larger knife and we'll just finish off that cut.
And so it's the same, just... Is there a specific motion that you're supposed to use with the knife when you do this?
Well, just a long fluid pass is ideal.
Okay.
If I find people are just making small nicks, then they get what would be known as like a shingling effect. And we're just looking for nice long fluid passes.
Slow movement. Okay.
Yep. There's your ham.
So this... Cool. It's a little bit daunting.
Oh, please. I think the biggest thing is actually just having a big enough bin to put it in.
I think I've got it covered. And did all of the cuts, and I was left with this ham, which a couple of days later, I packed in salt for the initial cure. And when that started out, it was 22.7 pounds or 10.3 kilos at the beginning of the salting process. At the end of the salting process, it weighed 20.4 pounds or 9.2 kilos, and that was October 4th, 2019. Today is October 13th, 2020, and it now weighs 8.4 pounds or 3.8 kilos. So over the year of hanging in my basement, it has lost 12 pounds of water weight, and it smells amazing. Now, over the last year, a lot of people have left comments about these blue marks on the leg. Those are marks left by the abattoir. And I think they're very important because each of these marks tells a story about this pig. The farm that it was raised on, the breed of pig it is, the day that it was killed, what it weighed on the day that it was killed, and the abattoir that killed it. All of that leads to accountability. I can trace this hog right back to the farmer's field where it grew up. I know the heritage of this piece of meat, which can be very important when you're talking about food safety, especially when you're home curing meats. You want to make sure you've got a quality piece of meat before you start curing it. Now the only thing left to do is cut this open. And I didn't get one of those fancy holders. I decided that I might only do this once in my lifetime and I didn't need another thing hanging around in my kitchen. So I'm just going to hold it and slice it and see how far I get. My understanding is that there are 3 or 4, depending on who you talk to, distinct muscles in here that all have a different flavor. So I don't know what I'm going to cut open first. I'm probably going to start cutting open the bigger piece, which is sometimes called the maza. So I'm going to start out with a heavier knife, and I need to remove the skin and this yellow fat. You don't want to eat the yellow fat. So I am just going to slice here, and then a little cut here. Now the skin is really tough. And then I'm try and slice across here. And then I'm going to attempt to peel that skin off. Oh, it smells wonderful. This smells absolutely amazing. I wish you could be here for the full sensory overload that I'm going through right now. Okay, so just try to peel off the skin on the other side. And I don't want to go too deep to start with. I don't know how far down that fat cap goes, but the fat is just wonderful. Pull that back. So I'm going to keep the fat. The white fat you can eat, and rendered out would be amazing, just like bacon fat for other operations in the kitchen. And so I think there's just a little bit here. Just going to trim off some of this white fat just to get us down to the meat. Look at that. And then this is meat and fat that's been exposed for the last year to the air in the basement. So I'm going to cut some of that off because it's hard. There we go. Oh, look at that.
Hey, Glenn, you said to bring wine. Hey, friends, it's the day.
It is the day. So I've got my long knife, and I'm just going to give it a go. I don't know how thin I'm going to get. Just a little. Let's see. Okay, first one, not so great. Let's see what happens for the second one. If I can.
That one looks better. You know, practice, practice.
Practice, practice. Okay, one more. Let's see if I can get it. If I could hold it a little more steady. Well, and also, you know. Okay, one more.
I want to help, but I also don't want to get recognize that it's
Okay, so some people spend their entire life, 10, 15, 20 years of their lives, just cutting ham. So I don't know that that's thin enough, but it looks pretty good. So let's give it a, I don't have the little tweezers. I don't have the little tweezers. Okay, piece for you, Jules.
Thank you.
Piece for me. We've got some white wine.
Such up there.
Thank you.
All right, 1 year in the making. Tastes exactly as it should. It's salty. It's not super salty, but it's got that.
Yeah, it is the right amount of salt, but it's got that, you know that you're eating.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty good. I think that's worth celebrating. Nicely done.
I'm going to have another piece because we've got a lot of ham to eat.
Well, and just think of all the things we can put it in now. Like a little pasta, a little bit on a pasta with some cheese. Like it's so. Now that you have it, there's more than a year's worth of eating there.
Well, and the flavor will continue to develop. I mean, when I was researching this, I looked at stuff where guys who worked in restaurants who cut ham for a living, like I mentioned, they'll go through 2, 3, 4 of these a night in their restaurant, whereas this is enough to last us probably the entire year, definitely for the entire year. I'm really happy with that.
That's good.
I am really happy with. I am really happy with that.
I can see you've got your happy face on. That's great.
So it wasn't that difficult. The most difficult thing was walking past this in the basement almost every day and looking at it, going, "Oh, there's still 6 months. There's still."
And being
months.
aware that, you know, anytime you moved anything around in the basement, it was there.
It was there. It was
don't
there.
run into that.
Yeah, don't run into the ham. It's not that difficult. If you've got the space, give it a try. And
it's a family event.
It is. This will get shared with friends and family. And it might seem extravagant, but because we will share it with friends and family, this is much cheaper than going to the deli and buying one.
Yeah, it becomes an affordable thing.
It becomes an affordable thing.
Because you've invested as a group and you've invested your time.
Yeah, it's mostly the time. You're paying for time. Really is what you're doing. You're paying for time. So I would say, yes, give this a try. Thanks for stopping by. See you again soon.